Welcome to Lively Lewis Stories.
Buckle up, because you're about to join Levi and Ivy on an adventure.
All you need is your imagination, and
Off we go! Lively Lewis Stories!
Levi and Ivy were lounging in front of the TV when their mom peeked her head around the corner and said, "Hey, you two, you left all your yard toys out last night and it rained on them. You have quite a mess to clean up, so turn off the television and get busy." "Aww," the kids said in unison. They were hoping to watch their favorite cartoons and avoid doing chores. Their mom went on to list everything that needed to be done before lunch, but as she spoke, the kids began to daydream. Ivy imagined a world of fairies, like Tinkerbell, fluttering around with tiny glittery wings and pixie dust that contained magic. Oh, how fun it would be to go to a land full of fairies. Levi, on the other hand, imagined what it would be like to live with the dinosaurs. His favorite dinosaur was the pterodactyl. He had even read in a library book that the largest pterodactyl had a wingspan of more than 35 feet. When their mom realized they weren't listening, she snapped her fingers to get their attention. Instantly, their daydreams were over. It was time to clean up the backyard. Each of the children took a towel with them to wipe off the wet toys before putting them back into the bins. Looking around, Levi said, "Boy, Ivy, we did make a mess back here." Sure enough, they'd left out their bikes, skates, hula hoops, bubble machine, and more. "I don't feel like cleaning up," Ivy whined. "Me either," Levi mumbled. Procrastinating, he picked up the bubble machine and turned it on. Tons of bubbles came floating out. The kids squealed in delight. All of a sudden, a giant bubble came out of the machine and enveloped the kids. Instantly, they started floating up, up, towards the clouds. "Whoa!" they shouted, looking at the yard below. They could see the trampoline, the garden, and their house growing smaller as they rose high into the sky. And then, without warning, the bubble burst, causing the kids to start tumbling towards the ground. Head over heels, they went down, 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 until Levi stretched out his arms and realized he could fly. "We have superpowers, Ivy," he yelled. Ivy copied her brother, put her arms out in front of her like Superwoman. She started flying too. "This is so fun," the kids shouted, zipping across the sky without effort. Were they daydreaming? Or was this real? "Follow me," Levi said, taking off in the southeast direction. In a flash, they found themselves hovering over the most exciting place in the world, Disneyland. Below, they saw the big castle with colorful fireworks bursting into the sky. They waved to their favorite Disney characters, dancing through the streets of the Magic Kingdom. They did loop-de-loops alongside the roller coasters as people pointed and waved. "Look! It's Tinkerbell!" Ivy exclaimed. "She's the most famous fairy of all!" "Oh my goodness, Ivy! Look over there!" Levi yelled, pointing to Universal Studios nearby. The kids looked in amazement as they saw Jurassic Park and the new Velocicoaster. Levi even saw a pterodactyl fly overhead. It was so cool. From there, the children flew north towards the Statue of Liberty. They flew circles around her torch and waved to the tourists standing inside her crown. The views of Liberty Island and New York Harbor were amazing. Suddenly, Ivy pointed further north and said, "Look at all that water, Levi." Sure enough, the kids could see Niagara Falls from their perspective in the sky. Levi remembered learning about Niagara Falls, that it was actually 3 waterfalls in one, and was located on the border of Canada and the United States. From there, the children flew west, seeing a vast array of fields, forests, valleys, and lakes. America was beautiful. Before they knew it, they found themselves in the Black Hills of South Dakota, face to face with the figures of Mount Rushmore. They were able to look George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln straight in the eyes, and see the amazing features that had been carved into the mountain so long ago. In fact, it had taken Gutzon Borglum 14 years to complete it. When it was time to fly on, Levi knew just where to go: the Grand Canyon. Ivy followed close behind as the two of them flew at the speed of light to reach the vast canyon in Arizona. The Grand Canyon is bigger than the state of Rhode Island, Levi informed. The two of them flew down, getting a closer view of one of the 7 wonders of the world. It was absolutely incredible. Once they were finished exploring, Ivy asked, "Where are we going next, Levi?" "Let's keep heading west," her brother suggested. They flew until they came across the longest bridge they'd ever seen. It was the Golden Gate Bridge. "Hey!" Levi shouted. "I've seen that bridge before. It's in lots of movies. It's called the Golden Gate Bridge." "Then why is it orangish red?" Ivy asked, puzzled at the thought. "I don't know," Levi answered, just as baffled as she was. "Let's go home and ask Mom. I bet she will know." Using their superpowers, the children flew straight home and landed safely in their backyard. Their mom was just coming outside to check on them with juice and snacks in hand. "How's it going out here?" she asked. The children replied, looking around and realizing they hadn't done much cleaning. Diverting her attention, the kids asked their mom if they could visit some of America's most famous landmarks. "What places do you have in mind?" she asked. "Disneyland!" Ivy shouted. "The Statue of Liberty!" Levi interjected. "Niagara Falls!" they shouted in unison. They told their mom all about their flying adventures and described Mount Rushmore and the Grand Canyon in detail. Then there was the Golden Gate Bridge, Ivy remembered. But why is it called the Golden Gate Bridge when it isn't golden at all? Ivy's mom laughed. "Well, from what I remember, the bridge was built over a channel of water that connects the San Francisco Bay to the Pacific Ocean. That channel is called the Golden Gate Strait. That's why it's called the Golden Gate Bridge. It has nothing to do with the color at all." "Oh," the kids replied, nodding their heads. Then their mom said, "I would love for us to visit all the places you mentioned, and many more. But first you need to pick up these toys." As their mom went inside, Levi began to clean up, thinking about all the cool places he wanted to visit. But when he picked up the bubble machine, he had an idea. "Hey, Ivy, are you thinking what I'm thinking?" Ivy looked at the giant bubbles coming out of the machine and said, "I sure am. Let's go!" Did you learn a lesson from this story?
If so, what was it?
And parents, do your kids have a story idea?
Leave a comment on our Apple Podcast review page with 5 stars, the idea, and your kid's name for a chance to join Levi and Ivy on their next adventure. Until next time.
Thanks for listening. Come back for more.